Which waterway opened up the Great Lakes to improved global trade connections? St. Lawrence Seaway. What is the name of the mountain chain that extends the length of South America's west coast? It's Andes. Which practice was most responsible for the deforestation of the islands of the Caribbean? Sugarcane plantation agriculture. Which region of the USA contains the country's densest population settlement? The Atlantic coast. What major changes occurred to the Panama Canal in 2016? A new set of locks was added, thereby allowing larger ships to pass through. Which of the following islands is not part of the Greater Antilles? It's the Bahamas. Okay. Let's continue. During what period of time has the Sunbelt region of the USA grown most quickly? 1970 till present. Over the last 40 years, approximately what percentage of Brazilian Amazon rainforest has been destroyed? 20%. That's a lot. What was the main cause of the Caribbean demographic collapse? Disease. What do we call new suburbs that include retailing, industry, office, and entertainment activities, but are less connected to the central city and are more connected to other suburban centers? Urban decentralization. What percentage of the world's plant and animal species are found in the Amazon rainforest? 50%. Good job. Which Caribbean country is the most urbanized? Puerto Rico. This accent thingy. Today, what percentage of the North American population urban? 80%. What makes the Amazon River distinctive? It's the world's largest river by volume. Which is the oldest continuously occupied European city in the Caribbean? It's the Santo Domingo. Today, approximately how many undocumented immigrants live in the USA? 11 to 12 million undocumented immigrants live in the USA. That's a lot. Which of the following environmental problems is associated with Mexico City and Santiago? Air pollution. Okay. Which Caribbean country has the highest population density? Bermuda. Which Canadian province has the majority of French Canadian citizens? It's Quebec. What is the name of the high altitude plateau where the Andes Mountains reach their greatest width? Altiplano. High altitude plateau. ALT, PLANO. What well-known form of music is most closely associated with the Caribbean? Reggie or Reggie. Almost half of USA Hispanics live in this state. It's California. California has the highest number of Hispanics living there. How many residents does a city need in its metropolitan area to qualify as a mega city? I think it's 10 million. Correct. What is the most common language in the Caribbean? The most common language is Spanish, and second most common language is Portuguese. Okay. Which countries are members of the North American Free Trade Agreement? Canada, Mexico, and the USA. Which of the following statements about squatter settlements in Latin America is not true? They provide adequate housing. So, the squatter settlements in Latin America is pretty common, but what is not true about it is that it provides adequate housing. It does not provide adequate housing. Maroon societies are composed of which group of people? Maroon societies are composed of escaped slaves. So it is Maroon societies have lots of slaves who've escaped from different parts of dungeons, and it's composed of those kind of group of people in Caribbean. Which of the following statements is true? The political status of Quebec remains a major issue in Canada. It's true. So it's the major issue in Canada is the political status of Quebec. Alright. Mestizo. What is mestizo? It's a mixed race between mixed race of European and Native American ancestry. Okay. From which country did the indentured workers who migrated to Guyana and Trinidad come? It's India. So when it comes to Trinidad and Guyana, it's India. Which of the following is not a primate city in Latin America? Panama City. Maroon societies allowed the perpetuation of African culture. So Maroon societies were the escaped slaves, and also they perpetuated the African culture. Where are the people of Latin America concentrated? In cities and on the coasts. By the early 20th century, which foreign country was dominant in the Caribbean? The USA. Dominant in Caribbean, so most of the people from USA lived there. Which country of Latin America has the region's largest population? Sao Paulo, Brazil. In which Caribbean country is the Santeria religion most common? Caribbean country. So that would be Cuba. So Santeria religion is most common in Cuba. In the Latin America city model, which land use is located along the spine? So superior services, roads, and transportation. What was the name of the official USA policy that held that the USA would not tolerate European military involvement in the Western Hemisphere? It's the Monroe Doctrine. Remember, Marilyn Monroe. Monroe Doctrine. Is it related? Maybe not. What is the ethnicity of the majority of people in Latin America? It's the mestizo. It's the mixed European and Latin American history. Native American ancestry. And here comes another one. Which USA president was responsible for the construction of the Panama Canal? Is Theodore Roosevelt. Which language is the second most common in Latin America? Portuguese. Historically, which crop has been the most important one in the Caribbean? It's the sugar cane. So when it comes to sugar cane, think about Caribbean, because it has been the most important one in Caribbean. Which trade bloc is the most important in Latin America? Mercosur. What most Caribbean people have an average life expectancy of over 70 years. So they live over 70 years. That's the expected life expectancy of the people in Caribbean region. Which Mexican drug cartel controls northern Mexico along the borders of California, Arizona, and New Mexico? It's the Sinaloa Federation. It's the Mexican drug cartel that controls northern Mexico along the borders of California, Arizona, and New Mexico. Sinaloa Federation. Eesh, scary stuff, huh? What goal did the Treaty of Tordesillas accomplish? Divided South America between Spain and Portugal. Spain and Portugal was divided. South American countries, Spain and Portugal, were divided by the Treaty of Tordesillas. So that's the accomplishment they had from that treaty. So, which Latin American country is the world leader in coffee production? Of course, Brazil. Brazilian beauty, huh? The two largest economies in Latin America are Brazil and Mexico again. And remember the Mexican drug cartel, Sinaloa Federation. That's quite scary, and they actually control northern Mexico along the borders of California, Arizona, and New Mexico. That's pretty intense. And I have 2 more questions left for you to learn. So these are: which Latin American country holds the world's largest reserves of lithium, a metal used to make lightweight batteries? So that's Chile. Chile is the Latin American country that holds the world's largest reserves of lithium. It's a metal used to make a lightweight battery. Gotcha. Approximately how many people today are employed in maquiladoras in Mexico? What's maquiladoras? It's 1 million people are employed in maquiladoras in Mexico. Thank you. That's all. Just learn.